Now sit back and prepare to be entertained. Welcome to the Dripping Bucket
Or something. Hi, we're super prepared again, and we're back at the Dripping Bucket with Rob J. Hayes. He decided to stay on and let us torture him some more. So thanks, Rob.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks, yeah. Like, fuck you, Rob. Hi.
Fletcher had some half-baked idea about what we were going to talk about, but I've actually literally already forgotten what it was. So
Awesome. So
why don't you tell us what we're
today's
talking
episode will be an educational romp, wherein we. Well, okay, we broke Krystle.
Yeah.
Today's episode is all about how not to survive a fantasy convention.
Yes. Because
this is mostly going to be Rob and Krystle talking. Because I've only not survived one convention, so I don't have nearly as much experience.
I've also only not survived
only one
convention.
Okay, so you know, there's us newbies. Rob's
which con did you go to?
Before us.
Oh, NYCC in 2015.
Long
New York
before.
Comic-Con. Yeah,
He
I was
wasn't
on
even a real
panel
person
and
yet.
Yeah,
I know.
it was for Beyond Redemption. I didn't know a single person. I'd only just started a Twitter account.
Zero clout.
Zero clout. Didn't know anyone. It was like
no friends.
Yeah.
A lot of whiskey.
A lot of whiskey.
Were you on any panels?
Yeah, I did a panel with Mike Cole and what's his Aurelian? Aurelian. I'm gapping out on his first name. Some other fantasy authors on heavy metal and fantasy music. Yeah. So the panel was fun. The convention was insane. Like New York Comic-Con is fucking huge. Like it is, it's tens of thousands of people crammed into a fucking convention center, shoulder to shoulder madness. And I am massively introverted. Yeah. Oh my God. It was nuts. It was too many people. So I survived by fleeing back to my hotel room with a buddy that came with me and someone I know from Jameson. Upstate New York and a bottle of Jameson. We basically sat on my hotel room floor. I had one of those like little coffin hotels. We sat on the floor with like our little plastic cups and just murdered a bottle of Jameson Gold or something.
Good thing you still had decent joints.
For the second day, it was pretty much rinse and repeat.
I was going to say, one bottle's not going to last you the entire con. Come on.
Or the one bottle, that was the first night. The second day wasn't as bad because we kind of walked in, we did a loop around the convention center, and then I was like, okay, I can't fucking take this anymore. Yeah. And so we went out, found a steakhouse.
Nice.
Oh, there you go. That's the way to do it. I think that pivots really well into my first advice of like, make sure you're eating decent food at least in the first half of the day, because in the second half of the day you will be too busy and probably too drunk to remember to feed your face. And if you load up really well with good food at the beginning, then your stupid ADHD brain will at least still have some fuel once the beer starts hitting your system, and you'll survive and you'll be okay, I think.
Or just have a croissant for breakfast and then sit there for the rest of the day going, oh God, why can't I see straight anymore? Why is my blood sugar level so low? Why am I so angry at everything?
Well, yeah, that's what I didn't want to experience, actually. So.
No, I think you did things the better way around, to be honest.
Yeah. At least on that one note, the food, we did good with the food.
So, what's WorldCon like size wise? I just have no idea. How big is it?
Definitely not as big as NYC's Comic-Con. I got the impression that the particular WorldCon we were at was more attended than usual for them, because It had been so long since so many of us could get to a WorldCon, so a lot of people flew further than they usually would for WorldCon. I think that seemed to have been, but even that, like, we were contained in pretty well the one convention center. It's Glasgow. It's not a giant convention center. It was a lovely venue, and Saturday and Sunday it was packed. But mostly I was there Thursday and Friday, and it was really nice.
I think the numbers were something like 9,000 people across like the entire week that was running. So there wasn't like, you never had like all of those people in at the same time. But across the 4 or 5 days that were running it, they had 9,000 people around.
Yeah, 5 days, Thursday to Monday.
It was.
I just did, a very quick search on how many people attend NYCC.
It's going to be a lot more than that, probably times 10.
200,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mental.
So
that explains why I was
quite that many.
Yeah, definitely a different vibe. And Glasgow as a city was also a really nice place just to go bum around for the better part of the week.
So many lovely people. Like, we went to a bar on, and I think it was the Thursday. For an author's launch party thing, and I was just queuing up to get myself a drink, and some random Glaswegians just started up a conversation with me, then bought me a beer.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I'll have a beer, sure.
Yeah, why not?
Lovely. Was that before? Put anything in it, but
Was that before it was super packed? Because by the time I showed up, it was like wall to wall, and I can't imagine.
It was always packed, but when I turned up, I could not get into the seating area, so I just stood there and went, "Hi, all the famous authors.
I remember.
Hi, Mark Lawrence. Hi, Joe Abercrombie."
I remember you waving. Like I arrived, and I was thinking, like, I really need to eat something. That was the one day that I hadn't eaten well early. And that's how I learned my lesson pretty quick. And I walked in and I saw the people. I'm like, I'm not going to get food here. I'll be back. and I remember you standing up and waving. And I'm like, sorry, Rob, I need something. I'm out. And then it's like, I hunched over something and then went back and be like, okay, I can do this, and just waited in. And it was a very busy venue. I don't think Christian realized how many people were gonna come out to support him.
At all.
That or
he just started inviting everybody, and so everybody turned up.
Everybody turned up. Yeah,
everyone. Yeah. But I think, to be honest, like a really good piece of advice is actually to find people that you are comfortable with.
Yes,
and kind of like. Well, not just stick to them, but kind of stick to them. You can see other people, sure, but like as long as you have your comfort zone of people that you can return to,
if you know where they are,
zone,
Yeah, if you know where they are, generally, you can be like, this party is too much for me. This is too busy. I'm out. I'm gonna go find my friends and do something a little bit quieter. And that made it. We had the same vibe. That made it a lot easier to recover at the end of every night.
That's it. Like the social battery is a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, and it can get drained, and they are incredibly social affairs. It's people everywhere. And I mean, it's probably slightly different as a reader, admittedly, but as an author, especially, every time I turned around, I was like, "Oh, hi," and meeting somebody else. And then, there was one point where I was trying to go and get some lunch. And I think it took me an hour and a half because every 10 steps I'd be like, "Oh, hi, yeah, you, hi, yeah," greeting somebody else. So by the time it got to Sunday, I was wiped because it had been, at that point, 4 days of just wall-to-wall socials. So I think like Sunday evening, I literally just went back to the apartment where me and my wife were staying and just vegged on the sofa with her and watched Starship Troopers because I just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I'm done. I've got nothing left.
Yeah. That was my Monday. I don't remember being at the convention center any more than an hour or so. And we went. There was a beer garden near where we were staying, and I remember sitting there, having finished my dinner, and I was literally falling asleep. I must have looked like a heroin addict nodding off in the back because I was just like, we gotta go. Like, I can't sit still any longer because I'm gonna be horizontal soon, and I can't. It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, it was not a flattering moment for me. But I did find the same thing as Rob, where it's like basically any particular moment at the convention center, it is the attempt to get somewhere and the redirection as someone says, "Oh, I'm going to go to this thing. Do you want to?" And my trick was, if somebody said, "I'm going to go get something to eat. Do you want to come too?" I'd be like, "Yes, I will leave the grounds and go find something to eat." And that's how I survived.
It's a good plan to get,
Yeah.
Take those moments to get out of the convention if you can, and just get some fresh air, get away from like the noise and the sort of like the crowds for a bit. Like any time that you can do that, there's the FOMO thing, the fear of missing out. The moment you leave the convention center, you're like, but what if somebody says something cool? What if I miss somebody? What if George R. R. Martin walks past, which he did? So there is that sort of like that idea of, oh dear, what if I miss out on something? But at the same time, you can't just be there and be this sort of like social animal the entire time, or you will.
Unless you can, in which case, God's, good.
Some people can,
but even
wow, I don't know how.
Even I'm pretty sure I'm on the extroverted end of things, but even I was pretty burnt out by the end, and like, it was all people that I loved. I did not have a single bad experience with anybody, but there were times where it's like, okay, let's go to the whiskey distillery up the river. There's nobody there. We'll just go up there. The tasting flights were excellent, by the way. I don't know, how does YouTube work? If I say the name of them, will they get mad at me? It was really good whiskey. It was just down the street from the SEC.
Free advertising. You're saying nice stuff. I think you're good. What was it? What were you drinking?
Actually, I have some. Just a second.
Mail it to me.
It's that good.
Yeah. Yeah, we brought a bottle home. So it's Clydeside is the name of the distillery, and this one specifically was really good. It's called Napier, and they're not paying me for this YouTube, so we don't need to be a sponsorship. But if Clydeside, if you're listening, we're open.
If you'd like to sponsor some alcoholic authors.
Yeah, so it was, they're aged in sherry casks, so they're almost like a red color, and they're so good. So yeah, we bought a bottle of that, and that was one of my favorite days, because it was just me, my husband, and 2 other people, and we were at that distillery for about 2 hours, and it's just like, even though I love the experience, that was needed.
Yeah. But, no, it was good fun, and I will say, like, especially even as a reader, like, don't be afraid to go up to authors and like,
we love it. We're attention whores. Like, that's why we show up.
Absolutely. Like, and I mean, you might get tongue tied. I know I did. Like, I've sit there and I talked to, like, Mark Lawrence.
Oh yeah.
I said hello to Scott Lynch, and then I walked up to Chris Wooding, and I was just like, hi, you're like one of my favourite authors. I love you.
Yeah.
So I just like shoved my hat in his face and went, "Can you sign my hat?"
Your hat was pretty packed by the time I signed it, and I think I signed it on the first day.
It's got like 50 odd signatures on it, like as many as I could find. Basically, just every author just like signed the hat.
Did you have people sign it before you were there, or was that all at WorldCon?
Just all at WorldCon.
It was a very, very signed hat. It looked awesome.
Yeah. I didn't get George R. R. Martin's signature because, I was far too scared to walk up to him and say, "Can you sign my hat?" As he glided past with his, like, with
his entourage.
He didn't actually have a scythe. I just assumed that he does because he is the Grim Reaper.
He cuts down the souls of overly eager authors, and that's why he has so many books.
Rob, did you were you on any panels or did you attend any?
I attended one panel. This is the thing, like, having a schedule is a really good idea. If you see the panels that you want to go on and like noting them down and setting yourself alarms to actually go to them, because otherwise you do like me, where you go, "Oh yeah, I was going to go to this panel. It was on at 2:00. Yeah. What time is it? Oh, it's 4:00.
Yep, that was me. That was me.
So
I only tried to get to panels the first 2 days, and I managed to make my way to a couple on time, but even by the time I got there, they were so full that they weren't letting anybody in the wing, and I was okay, I guess I'm not going to make any panels on this. A
lot of them you needed to sign up for beforehand because they got so packed so quickly. But yeah, so I only went to attend one panel. I meant to attend others, but I was on one panel, my first ever panel appearance, which was nerve-wracking, but it was okay. I still don't think I particularly belonged there. It was about board gaming, and I know a little bit about card gaming, but the panel kind of was just people naming their favorite board games. So I just kind of sat there going,
yeah, that sounds great. That sounds like a great game. Oh, jeez.
I like Risk.
That's that was my biggest fear. Trying to sign up for panels, because it's like I thought about it for a while, and then I was like, well, I'm such a small indie. What if they don't pick me? Well, what if this? What if that? And then I was like, what if I end up on something that I'm totally unqualified to talk about? And I was just like, I can't.
When has that ever stopped you? Come on.
Usually when I'm talking so much, it's because I know something, even if it's the smallest thing. I can draw a lot of time out of it, but I know something, and something like board gaming, I would have been not useful.
Very out of same.
I don't think I was useful, but I was there. I attended that thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad because at least it got me to pop the sort of like the cherry, as it were, for doing panels. And I know I've got another couple of cons coming up this year, and I'm going to be on panels for those as well. So I'm starting to get into the swing of things.
Aren't the cons that you're going to next slightly less intense?
Oh, God, yes. They're going to be a lot
way to
smaller.
Pop your cherry. Just like full throttle WorldCon bananas for the first one.
It could be worse. I know some people have been at DragonCon recently doing sort of panels.
Oh yeah,
I think DragonCon's one of the
really big
ones.
Yeah, that looked really, really big. Okay, that's
fair. To take on that sort of
I take it back. It's not the biggest, most bananas. It's just that it happens to be the biggest, most bananas one I've been to, and I've only been to the one.
Yes, it's a very small sample size.
Exactly, 100% of my con.
As long as you pick the right one, you can get a very accurate representation from a single sample.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah, let's go with that. That sounded intelligent.
4 other ones of that size.
Yes.
So which other cons are you going to? Can you say? Is it a secret?
Yeah, so I'm going to be at FantasyCon in Birmingham, UK.
Oh, nice.
There's also a Birmingham in the US.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we named all our stuff after your stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a Birmingham, Ontario somewhere.
Yeah.
So are you on a panel at that one? Where should people look for you?
I believe there is a self-publishing panel.
Oh, cool.
Which I'm part of. And I'm also doing a reading on the Friday, I think.
Oh, cool. So that's a couple of days.
I actually quite like readings. They're fun. I can just sit and stare at my book and occasionally look up at people.
Yeah, you've got a script. Sure. You don't have to think of anything on the fly. You don't have to think on your feet.
Pretty sure you're supposed to read out loud.
Yeah. A reading would just be something going, I'll be with you soon.
It's going to finish this chapter. Hold
on. We're on page 30. If you want to catch up, I'll sign page 30 once you get there.
So yeah, I've got that, and then I've got another one next month, October. I'm doing BristolCon in October. That's kind of a yearly one. I've been doing that for about 5 years now. I quite like that one because we spend most of the time in the bar.
That one's only the one day, isn't it? BristolCon?
I think it's more than one. This year, okay. I think they're branching out into 2 days.
Oh, 2 days.
I'll have to actually check about that. But yeah, that one's quite good. I think that's it actually for this year. And then there's TBRCon in January as well, but that's an online one.
Yeah, that's a different vibe.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to remember if I've agreed to be on any panels for that.
We should pitch a live Drip and Beckett episode. Speaking of,
yeah, that's a good idea. If only we knew someone there.
Yeah, if only
like the
one of us was
organizer
lurking.
of the entire thing, maybe.
Yeah, like Dave or whatever.
Yeah. I can try to pitch to my people. I'll have our people reach out to their people.
They'll do lunch.
You are your people.
Yeah, that's right. We don't have people.
I'll have my people talk to your people. Who's your people? Dirk. Damn it, he's my people too.
Tell him to talk to himself.
Yeah. We'll have very, very tense negotiations through Dirk specifically.
I can't imagine a tense situation with Dirk, to be honest. He's too laid back.
I know, he's so sweet. He's a very small, very wonderful human being. He's packed so much joy in that tiny package. It's just a very small man. You get such an egalitarian view of your fellow authors when you're all sitting at approximately the same height across the screen. But Rob, you're shockingly tall. I'm not prepared
tall.
for that.
Like standing next to like the Ryan Cahills of the bloody world.
That's a high bar in a high Ryan. But like, I was not expecting to have to look up to you literally. So WorldCon was a really weird moment of realizing how much physical space other people take up in the world, because like people just feel so distant when you only know them on social media and panels or stuff like this, and it's just like you're somewhere in the world and I've never seen you, but now I know how tall you are, and it's just like, holy shit, now I have friends everywhere and I know how tall they are. This is the weirdest rant.
No, like to be fair, it's absolutely wonderful going to these things for the chance to meet up with people. Like I because I've been to a few cons and I have like, you know, a group of people who I regularly see at cons, and that's wonderful. But getting to meet like this WorldCon is the first time I met so many other people from all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's Americans, there's Canadians, there's Australians, just everything, just people everywhere.
That's what I was trying to say, and you said it so much less insane.
Yeah, so instead we got a lecture on height.
Yeah.
And how people take up space, and you're not comfortable with that.
I'm not comfortable with the specific amount of space. I was startled by that.
You are taking up too much space.
Stop being so tall.
Yes. Like, I was ready for Ryan because everybody makes such a big deal about how tall he is, but other people have been so unspecific.
I mean, to be fair, he's also built like a rugby player. He's huge.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm at least I'm a beanpole, you know. Turn sideways, you don't see me.
We can measure it by people who can disappear behind Ryan.
New gauge of measurement. Yeah. Can you disappear behind this giant author?
David Ragg cannot.
No, he's really tall.
Yeah. See? It is a thing that you notice.
Anyway, this was apparently supposed to be about how to survive WorldCon. Instead, we're just measuring people's heights.
All right, so we'll bring it back onto topic, and maybe we'll end with last pieces of survival advice. Rob, would you like to just make something up?
Find the bar.
Yeah,
that's a really good piece of advice.
But
I mean, also, for life, not just conventions, but for life. Find the bar. It's generally a very comfortable place where you can get beer.
I'm gonna yes and that. Yes, find the bar, and also don't forget to order water occasionally.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, because people will buy you drinks, and you'll very rapidly lose track. So hydrate, take care of yourself.
I don't know. I think, to be honest, the best piece of advice you can have for a convention is know your limits, and understand when you are reaching them. For a whole range of different sort of like things, limit of, oh God, I haven't eaten anything, my blood sugar's getting low, that's a limit. The social thing, have I been too much today? Do I need to? Because the reality is, a lot of people who go to these things are not or it's not. What's the word where you're atypical mentally? Brains.
Neurodiverse.
Neurodiverse. There we go.
Yeah.
A lot of people that attend these things are neurodiverse, and we all have sort of like certain issues. So knowing your limit on them is fairly important.
Just to cut in though, that was actually a nice thing about the community, because so many of us we're ADHD or autistic or anxiety or any melange thereof, and so if you had to tap out and you had to be like, I'm going to sit here silently and enjoy everybody, and I'm not going to answer a single question, everybody at the table kind of understood and just accepted that of like, yeah, we see what's happening. You're okay. We're fine. We're going to keep rolling. And so it was a really nice community to be a part of on that note as well. Not just because we're all there for the books, but also we're all a little quirky in the wiring. And it was a very tolerant and very welcoming environment. I don't think I could have survived any other gathering of people that large were it not for the fact everybody kind of knows that we're all weird.
Which ties into, I think, what was probably going to be my last piece of advice from my one experience, which is be willing to leave. You can step out, you can go somewhere else for a bit, you can come back in, they'll let you back in. It's crazy. So if you need to go back to your hotel room and like stare at like a cinder block wall for a moment, down a couple of quick whiskeys before you head back in, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I agree. Because there are always
this image of Fletcher just staring at this wall. I'm gonna stare down like,
really intensely.
Fucking wall, man! I'm gonna have you, wall. All right, let's do this.
Woo.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Because you'll always hopefully get a chance to go back and see people again. But if you burn yourself out on it so bad that you never want to go back, I think that would be a worse loss than missing the second half of the third day, so.
Yep. And on that cheery note, Rob, thank you once again for joining us. It has been a pleasure as always, for us mostly, probably not so much for you.
It's fine. You were tolerable.
For an hour. Yeah.
You were almost tolerable. All right. We've hit a new high bar.
No, that bar's too high. I'm not comfortable with that. We can't match that.
I'm not comfortable with being tolerable. I want to be intolerable at best, despised at worst.
Keep the expectations really low, and then I never have to worry about not meeting them. Well, thanks for coming on and tolerating us.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah. It was such a British insult. I always love going up
Dripping Bucket anyway, because it's like, how quickly can we break Krystle?
The last episode was a new bar was reached, so we're gonna have a lot of guests kind of like it competing with you in the back of my head of how bad can we derail a conversation.
You need like a little scoreboard, so you're like, you're sort of like, which author's on, and how quickly did Krystle just break down into laughter that she couldn't recover from?
You're top rank right now, bud. I'll let you know if somebody knocks you off. Okay. Thank you for coming. This is the longest outro I think we've ever done as well. Okay, we're gonna go. Thank you, and to our listeners, please kind of keep listening to us. We actually do really enjoy all this, for all the complaining that we do for no apparent reason. And thank you for those of you that have been listening. So we will have a little bit more organization coming up this year. I think I really want to try.
We haven't talked about this. This is you're totally springing this on me.
No. We actually talked about it last episode that we recorded, and then I forgot. So actually, no, I'm not springing this on you.
Oh shit! All right.
Okay, so we'll see you next time.